So I think the last thing you guys would have seen was me putting the 2 bars across the top. Then I went away on that trip to New South Wales. I'm back home now and I've been getting straight back on with it. The only thing I've done since you guys last saw this was these sidebars. It's another one of those things where I wasn't quite sure how I was going to tackle it, and so I kind of just wanted to do it. They're just all tacked together and I'm about to take it all off for the final weld out. And so this is how it's going to work. Pull that out. And then we're into the canopy. Yeah, these hinges I just bought online. They are from the States and they just close like that. But yeah, super simple design. And it'll mean that I have this to protect that canopy door. But yeah, I'm gonna start disassembling it now so then I can do the final weld out of this whole cage. Okay, so now I've just got a bunch of welding out to do. So these are the 2 crossbars. They need welding out around each end of these. I need to weld out this headboard and then the 2 top bars and then the attachments on that headboard there. Yeah, we'll get cracking straight onto that, I reckon. So yeah, that's everything welded out. There's the sidebars there, and then the rear headboard and the 2 across the top, and everything's welded out on the headboard too. So I think I'm probably gonna call it a night there. And then the next thing to do is probably going to be to get that drawer mounted under that tray. But yeah, that's a good milestone. I'm glad everything's welded out. That's pretty much steel weld out done for the tray, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap up for the night, and the next thing you'll see is getting that drawer mounted. Hey guys, it's another day in the shop here, and the last thing you would have seen is me welding out this EXO cage for the canopy. I wasn't even expecting to be working in here today, and so I don't even have my camera equipment with me. This is just my phone, so sorry about that, but I thought if I do get a fair bit done, then I should probably show you guys what I'm doing. So I do have the canopy off at the moment because the next job is trying to get this drawer mounted up underneath. So I'm sure you guys would remember that this was made by Matt Kinsella using my CAD drawing. And so we knew where the slots were going to be in here because we had a drawing of my tray. And so how it works is this is just a sleeve for the drawer. There's a mounting bolt here, here, and here. And then there's one on that beam and then that beam for either side. That is super sturdy in there and it fits awesome. He's done such a good job. Like, obviously I did the drawing of the tray and so we're working off my drawings. But like, you know, I was still worried about it fitting and it fits awesome. So yeah, awesome work. If you do want custom work like that done, I'd definitely get in touch with him. He does wicked work. And yeah, now is the scary bit. So now I'm about to get the drawer actually mounted into that sleeve. I know that that sleeve is all mounted central to the tray. This was one of the other things I was worried about. I'm sorry for the audio if it sucks. I don't have any of my camera equipment here because I didn't think I was going to be doing this much work. But that's one of the other things I was worried about, having that fit in there perfect, because obviously tube bending and centerline radiuses can be a bit fickle, but yeah, the radiuses are all bloody spot on. But yeah, all right, let's try and mount this drawer in. I haven't actually used these before, but they're just like, kind of like a whale tail latch. And it looks like they're actually going quite simple. And then he's given me these little guards, and they're basically just to stop stuff sliding into these latches and then snookering yourself, because I've seen it happen with mates before where something will slide down, impede these, and then you've actually got to cut your drawer to get it open. And so he's given me these little guards that go around them like that. Well, that's going to wrap it up. I'm really stoked with that tailboard. The only other thing I've got to do is get a number plate light mounted in. I just got the canopy and the tubes back on and around. And so, yeah, it's going to be a matter of just sort of one final look over, get like the secondary fuel filter all mounted up, get the diesel fillers all mounted up, get the reverse light mounted up, the number plate light mounted up, get the mud flaps mounted up, all that kind of thing, just final touches, and then we're going to be able to go and powder coat this thing. So yeah, super keen. I'll see you guys soon. Hey guys, it's a brand new day. I'm sorry if this video is getting a little bit choppy. We're getting to the stage now where I'm just like tying up loose ends before I get this powder coated. And one of those loose ends was a number plate light. And because this is a drawer, it's not like I can have two here like I do in the GQ. On the GQ, I just have one either up the top or either side. Because the wires are static, they can just be mounted there and that's fine. Because this is a drawer, I can't really have the number plate light moving with the drawer because then I'm gonna have moving cables underneath. What I've had to come up with is a little bracket, and I didn't film it, but I'll show you how it works. So I had this idea in my head and this was my test piece. And basically there's a little relief in the RHS down there, and that's this piece here. And the number plate light is going to insert from the back like that and then shine down through this hole here. All right, so this wire isn't quite long enough, so I'm going to have to extend it a bit. And so I'm just gonna solder on at a little bit of an extension, and then I've got a Deutsch connector down there. I'm using this King Chrome butane soldering iron, and I've got a big soldering iron that I like to use because I hate waiting for them to heat up. But seriously, this thing actually goes really well, and it's good because it's portable, so you can like take it in the bush with you. I didn't have any small wires. This is the smallest wire I've got, so hopefully it's all right. And then the last thing we need to do is a little reverse light. The reverse light that was on here before was just a little lamp that used to sit here. And so I'm doing the same thing again. It's just a little bit newer. And so it's just a little road vision light. Again, same as the number plate light, like it's E9 stamped, ADR approved. And so I'm just gonna mount it exactly the same way that the other one was. Okay, so we're making some progress. That is the number plate light sorted, the reverse light sorted. I think the next thing that I've probably got to do is get these two diesel fillers sorted. But I'm gonna have a bit of a break, might have some lunch, and we'll check back a little bit later. This thing is truly coming close to powder coating. I'm super excited. I just want it done now. But yeah, we'll check back soon.
And so this is going to be the final episode for this tray build. I never meant for it to go for 4 episodes, but if you've seen the earlier ones, you'll know that I started again from scratch to make some small changes. And I'm so glad I did because I learnt heaps, and that drawer is going to be super handy when it comes time to tool this thing.
So it's finally time for powder coating the canopy and tray for the GU. So I've brought it around to Woodhouse Powder Coating, and we've just dropped the tray around the corner to be blasted, and he's going to be doing the canopy in acid here. And so yeah, we'll go in and see Luke, but this place looks unreal, so I'm keen to see the process.
So this is Woodhouse Powder Coating and Flashing. They're a local family-owned business here in Ulverstone who offered to look after me with powder coating the GU tray and canopy. I've never been involved in the powder coating process, so join me as we learn all about it.
We've just acid etched the canopy. So what's that process there?
So the acid etch is essentially eats away the first layer of aluminium.
Yep.
So it leaves the barest of aluminium for the powder to stick to.
Yep.
Then once you rinse it off and you add your Surtec, that stops the oxygen from making it rust.
And so that basically replaces your primer, right? You don't have to prime it.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, cool. And so then we've chucked it in this big oven here, and that's just getting rid of all the moisture?
Yeah, that's just drying it out.
Yep.
And then as soon as it's nice and bone dry, because any moisture with powder coating is a nightmare.
Right,
so
okay.
if you got moisture, it's just going to go on shit and you see like little bubbles and whatnot. It's horrible.
Yeah, okay.
Make sure everything's bone dry before it even gets a touch of powder.
Yep, okay. And so once that's done, we'll be able to put the black straight on.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
And so the TC box's canopy and draw face are fresh out of the oven after drying. These aluminium parts do not have to be primed. They're instead etched and prepared chemically, so they're ready for top coat. So the guys here at Woodhouse are like a well-oiled machine. Just as Rusty was getting the final bit of top coat on the canopy and tailboard, the others had picked up the tray from sandblasting and were getting it into the oven. Even though it's been freshly blasted, these guys take one extra measure to make sure the powder comes out perfect.
You just got the black on the canopy?
Yep.
And so that's gone in the oven now.
Yep.
How long does that bake for?
So that'll cure for about 25 minutes at 200 degrees.
Oh wow, that's fast.
So it takes about an hour to get the oven to get up to temperature.
Yep.
And once it's up to temperature, it's 25 minutes from that point.
Yeah, gotcha. And so the tray's in there at the moment just with bare sandblasting.
Yep.
And what's that for?
Over time, things can get embedded to the steel.
For sure.
And when you're powder coating it, you don't want to cure like your fresh top coat and something bubbles up through and you're left with a rough patch.
Yep.
So you give it a cook out, open the steel up a little bit and all the impurities will come out.
Yep.
Same with any gases and oils that have been embedded into the steel.
The tray will then come out, you give it a blow off and then we powder that.
Yeah, and we put the primer on it.
Yep.
So it's a zinc-based primer that prevents it from rusting in the future.
Yep.
So with a good primer, it'll almost outlive us if it wasn't to get abused and whatnot.
Yeah, cool. And then obviously the one black top coat.
Yep.
Awesome. Keen to see it, dude.
Yeah, it's going to turn out pretty good.
We've just applied some primer to the bar work here. So as soon as the tray comes out, we'll be able to get that in primer and then get this and the tray in there to bake that primer, out again to do the top coat and then back in for a final time. So yeah, we'll get to see what that canopy looks like in a minute. So yeah, that's the TC box's canopy all done in black powder coat. Obviously I didn't bring the doors because I kind of like the idea of keeping them like that aluminium silver. I've got a funny feeling I'm going to be painting the GU as well, and so I'd really like the doors to be the same color as the car. But yeah, this canopy in black powder coat looks absolutely awesome. So yeah, next up we've got to get the tray in primer. In the oven, mate.
Yeah, boy.
So if you've freshly fabricated anything for your four-wheel drive or some parts just need a freshen up, whether it's bar work, trays, canopies, come see the guys at Woodhouse Powder Coating and Flashing. I'll leave their details in the description below.
So that's the tray and the canopy cage into the oven for the last cure on the top coat. We'll let that bake off and then we'll have a look at them when they come out. Rusty done the top coat. He's pretty much the head honcho here of powder coating. You've taught me a lot, man. I mean, you were talking before about like applying it. I noticed like it looks so dusty and sort of uneven when you're applying it, and then it all just bakes out nice and smooth. Like I can't get over how smooth and just amazing it looks. I think I like it better than paint, to be honest. You've done awesome, man. I guess we let it cool and then get it loaded up and get it on the cart.
Yeah, 100%.
Sweet. Thanks heaps, man.
Yeah, not a worries.
Appreciate it. So it's been a couple of days since I got the powder coating done and brought it home and mounted it up onto the GU, and yeah, it was supposed to be done today, but I've got a story for you guys before we fast forward to tomorrow and you get to see the whole thing finished. I got back from the powder coating and got up the next day, and before I mounted the tray to the GU for the final time, I had to fit a better muffler for engineering, and I'll show you. So you guys might remember a little while ago, I fitted this. My engineer wasn't a fan of it because it's a hot dog, not a proper silencing device, and so I've since fitted a proper silencing device to it. And so before I fitted the tray to the car for the final time, I thought I'd knock that out because it's easier, obviously, with no tray there. So I got the tray off the back of the truck and put it up on the hoist, and I welded up a new exhaust in here. I didn't bother filming it. And I had the car sitting here with just the stick in the reverse so that it didn't roll away. And when it was time to roll the car back just by hand to get the tray onto it, I knocked the stick out of reverse like I've done 100 times, and it jammed up. And I mean jammed up, like one of the selectors actually got pushed into fifth. So the gearbox was stuck jammed in fifth gear, except the stick appeared to be in neutral. I tried rolling it forwards, back, rocking it, like hitting the stick, grabbing the stick, moving it around, and I don't know what went wrong, but that box just locked up entirely. And all I wanted to do at this stage is get all this nice powder coated gear back on the GU for the final time. Plus I've got jobs that I need to do to get this thing engineered so I can get it out of this shed. And yeah, I had to do a gearbox change. So that's what I've been doing for the past 24 hours. And a massive shout out to Bailey, one of my good mates. He spent the last 24 hours with me getting that gearbox out and getting another one in. When I had the box out, I did actually manage to unbind whatever was bound up in the top, and it seems to be shifting okay now. But I was a bit cautious about putting that box back in just in case it happens again. I'm going to do a quick montage of getting this thing mounted up for the final time, and then we'll probably have a good look at it first thing in the morning in the sun. So yeah, let's get all this on.
Thanks so much for watching the final episode of my tray build for my GU Patrol. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button, and if you want to see more, please subscribe.